Sorry about that, guys. I forgot to take this thing off the camera, so I had to fix that. Welcome back to the stream. Today is March 4th, 2026. If you're watching this in the playback, what we do on this channel, we do an overall comprehensive wellness check on the crypto market. We look at silver, gold, we look at oil, look at US stocks, we look at the Japanese bond market. There's a lot moving right now. And at the same time, there's also kind of a lot not moving. It seems like things move and then they retract. Things move and then they retract. We'll break all of that down in today's stream. I'm going to start things off by saying a nice good morning to everybody in the chat. So good morning, Stav. Good morning, Mill. Happy birthday. Good morning, Over and Out. Good morning, Steph. Good morning, Bird, Dexter, Chris, Scorpio, Mr. Good, and Black. All right. Always fun to see these good morning messages. Love seeing them. Let's dive straight into things. Pretty interesting to see. The first time in a very long time, Bitcoin has actually outpaced basically everybody else in this space as far as, 24-hour period growth is concerned. So Bitcoin's up, at least at one point was up around 10%. Now, that's quite substantial for a 1 day's worth of movement. I'm looking at the 24-hour chart. Really overnight things started to quite take off. I mean, 10% in 1 day for Bitcoin is pretty substantial. So interesting to see that Bitcoin's moved, well, really right now it's 7.87 if we want to get specific, but the 24-hour chart will catch things up on the back end too. So depending on what dips were going on yesterday, this percentage will move back and forth. But really, it's about a 10% movement to the upside. What's interesting is our favorite coins have not, for whatever reason, received quite as much benefit. Now, XRP is moving up pretty aggressively as we film this stream. So I'm just looking at it right now. Even just a few minutes ago, before I hit the go live button, XRP was at around 142, then to 144. So as I was, hair still wet, I'm in the shower a couple half hour ago. Looking at the chart, I'm like, oh, okay, well, XRP's at 142 while Bitcoin's ripping. It looks like something's going on. It does seem like XRP's starting to catch up to Bitcoin's pretty monumental run that's going on right now. These markets are very unpredictable. It's almost like when things are good, the crypto market does poor. And then when bad things are happening, that's when crypto decides to start doing well. We actually saw this during the COVID era as well, by the way. When the lockdowns really started getting aggressive, that's when crypto really started to rip again. So I just don't want to cheerlead for all these global wars. The war conflict, I have to be honest with you guys, has been putting me in quite a bad mood for the past couple of days. Look, there's nothing I can do about it. I'm just some guy in a house in somewhere USA. All I can do is basically sit and watch what's happening. But to put things as neutral as possible, the word is disappointed. I'm just very disappointed. I am deeply disappointed, and maybe I'll leave it there. I think some of you guys probably are on the same page. Maybe some of you guys aren't, so I won't go too much further into the global politics other than just saying I'm very disappointed. So interesting to see. Flare has not really hit this rally like the rest of the market is. On a weekly chart, we're still down on Flare. In the past 24 hours, it's up 2.5%, but, when we're watching all these other coins rip right now, I mean, geez, if Bitcoin keeps moving, it's going to be at 10% before you know it. And so Flare, we'll see what happens with this. I think Quant also, Quant's up a good 7.5% too. So Quant's doing very well. And I do believe H bar also doing quite well. So let's just see what's going on with Flare. It might take a little bit for them to kick into gear. But it's interesting to see that, I'm always saying this, everything seems to move almost like perfectly in sync. And it's something that I just find very interesting. It's like, well, how much of this is really organic growth when all these different charts basically look the same? And I see that we might be going down some confrontational roads here in the chat, so maybe we just avoid the Iran topic for today. I don't want to necessarily, have a bunch of conflict going on. That's not really what this channel's about. So if we can't keep it civil, then we'll just have to change topics here. Looking at gold, Iman did say to take a look at it. Okay, so we're seeing that, gold hasn't moved a whole lot, really. Considering how volatile the market's been lately, this I would call this flat. Obviously over the past 48 hours, it went up, and now it's, back to where it was on the weekend level. Silver probably is, ooh, this is an ad. Let me click this ad away. Silver here doing the same movements. Now, the COMEX cannot fulfill all of the silver. We looked at it yesterday. There's somewhere around 90 million-ish physical silver that's registered over there at COMEX, but they're on fulfillment for almost 300 million. So that is... hold on, I'm brain farting here. I'm looking at the chat as well. Silver cannot be fulfilled at the highest level. There's 300 million ounces of silver on order, and there's only 90 million in actual reserve. That means that at some point this is going to come to a head, especially if the long orders on silver don't get extracted. So that is something that people in the trading world do. They'll put a long out, but they'll actually pull the contract before it's due. That way they just take the profits and move on. But that would be called trading paper. And in the case of silver, if they have to fulfill orders, then obviously there's not enough supply for them to do that. Let me just look at the chat, guys. Please don't want to have this turn into a pissing match in the chat section. So maybe we'll just avoid the Iran topic for today. I don't want to necessarily have us going down that route. I know it's a polarizing conversation, but it's a little distracting for me to see the chat moving, and it seems like it's going in a bad direction. So maybe we'll just hold off on that for now. Japanese bond market has not moved a whole lot overnight. So yesterday it did a pretty large run from 2.05 up to 2.15. Now it's kind of flattened out here for about a day. I thought it's very interesting that I looked at the Brent oil has actually pulled back a little bit, and I'm actually surprised by this. This is something I was not expecting. There's so much disinformation out there. It's really hard right now to know what's real and what isn't. So you go on Twitter, you go on the news, you're hearing, oh, we're winning the war on one side, and then the other side's saying, no, all these bases are getting hit. I have no way of verifying any of this information anymore. I think the AI era has made news reporting almost so unreliable that I almost feel like it's almost a fruitless effort. You almost get better news by looking at the prices in a weird way. I'm looking at Brent oil in Japan. It's gone down, almost 1,000 yen from it had a spike earlier in the week. I think the highest candle here was 13,300. So now it's back down to 12,600. Not quite 1,000, but it's getting to that level. I have no idea what really is going on over there in the Persian Gulf. So I almost get better news just by looking at the chart. If this is going down, this tells me that maybe there are ships actually going through the Strait of Hormuz after all. I wish there was better ways to get information, but we live in this AI era now that, yeah, Mr. Goods got it right. The future news is verified by oracles. So, that's actually an interesting point that would actually really benefit Flare. Flare being an oracle platform, giving us the straight answer on prices. And then in a weird way, we're getting the truth out of this more than we're getting it out of other things. So I'm looking at crude oil. Crude oil in Japan also down from 12,000 yen down to 11,500. Now, I've talked with some people about this. I'm not an oil expert, so I'm probably not the right person for this, but I do believe that Brent oil is oil by sea, and crude oil is oil by land. So very simplified terms of putting that, but like, I don't know if that doesn't necessarily means that it's like if Brent oil is extracted from the sea and then moved by boat. I don't know if that means that crude oil is extracted from rock and then moved by pipes, or if there could be a combination of the two. What I do know is that the market in Japan really takes a look at the Brent oil, and that would be oil coming out of the Strait of Hormuz. I do know that oil is Brent oil, so maybe the definitions aren't entirely correct, but it is Brent oil coming out of the Strait of Hormuz. So that's why I'm looking at this more than I'm looking at crude. But this also does say that there's a chance that Japan could get its oil from the United States, which they don't traditionally do. But I have a feeling that going after Venezuela was kind of a way to segue into this, making something like this a little bit more possible. So things are developing in that direction. I'm looking at the chat. I just want to see if I've missed anything before I move on to other topics. Okay, yeah, please guys just keep it civil. Yeah, I don't mind if you guys have discussions, but sometimes, you go to Twitter and people are like quite literally calling for each other's heads. So these types of discussions usually escalate. Not saying you guys are going to do that, but I'm just trying to keep this thing civil here at PG-13 channel. Otherwise, past 24 hours have been pretty good for the overall market. I just filtered on the past 24 hours. It looks like the ones that have done the best. Some of these are meme coins, by the way. Meme coins always seem to have the biggest jumps, but Dogecoin up 8%. Zcash 7.5%, Ethereum, Bitcoin. So it's actually interesting that the biggest gainers on CoinMarketCap.com are for the most part coins that people are already familiar with. Now some of these I don't really know. I don't know what WorldCoin is. I don't know what Decred is, but I recognize a lot of these, so maybe this is a good sign that maybe things are actually moving in a good direction here. So let me see if I can just get this back to, I think, market cap. Yeah, that's the default setting. So we're going to just keep monitoring this as the day goes on. Again, for us in the XRP space, what we're all really kind of waiting for is that reverse carry trade. Let's see if that starts to really unwind. Seeing the price of oil move back down and also the Japanese bond market kind of moving back down as well. I don't know. I mean, I'd love to say that this thing's happening right around the corner, but it's... I just follow the data. When things start moving back downwards, that means the urgency of the reverse carry trade also becomes a little bit less hot. So, and Black Cold says, Musk talking about X payments again. I saw that tweet. I tried to go to save it, but sometimes, you open up Twitter and you like leave it for a little bit and you go do something and then you come back and like open up the screen again because like your phone screen will lock, and then like without doing anything Twitter will refresh and then you kind of lose whatever you were looking at. That's what happened for me. Now I'll try to see if I can just go to Musk and see if I can just see the tweet, because he did tweet about X payments, which I think is I have to imagine it'll probably be on a recent thing of his. This might be the tweet. So Elon Musk saying this will be big. I don't think people truly understand what's going on with X money. Oh, this post is too long. I'm not sure if we're going to read this whole post, but it would be interesting to see it. Oh, this is it. I think they're talking about a debit card here. So what is this? This is a debit card for Twitter. Get the X card. So this will be interesting, especially if they're using the XRPL. We'll see. We'll have to see how that plays out. Top comment is, I don't like this. This is the comment, not me. They're saying, an everything app is not exactly what I need from Twitter. Twitter should be Twitter. I guess I'm neutral on it. I mean, there's already been payment apps on other things, like Snapchat has it, Facebook has it. So I don't think it's that big of a deal if Twitter wants to have a payment system. If it gets more money into the crypto ecosystem, then I'm cool with it. Now it looks like there's something going on with HBAR.
With these apps.
I'm seeing this live. I don't know what this is. I might delivering trust in environmental assets and outcomes with Hedera Guardian. Maybe we'll take a look at this, but I wasn't planning on covering this. Maybe we'll hop into it towards the end if we've got the free time for it. So I do want to continue talking about, the silver situation. I think is going to play out sooner than later, and it's really reminding me a lot of the GameStop era, where it's the manipulation from the banks was observed by a bunch of retail holders. And so if you don't remember the GameStop era, the banks had a whole bunch of short positions on GameStop, and so retailers were buying GameStop and holding it, and it caused the price of GameStop to go parabolic, and almost became like a war of the retail class versus the large banks. Retail ended up losing that war because Robinhood did some trickery on their end. It's one of the reasons I don't buy crypto on Robinhood, and I don't think that I ever would. But I'm seeing this kind of same situation building up here with silver, where I think if it gets to the point where the 90 million silver they have on hand is ordered to be shipped, we're probably going to see some problems come from this, up to and including the silver not getting shipped. And then I think that's really going to open up a can of worms. I'm not sure which direction that's going to go, but I can't imagine it being a good thing. I do think a lot of paper silver people are going to end up getting hosed from this. Now Steph says, I always thought Elon would use XRP or XLM, but I see there will be a Doge ETF. And I thought, why would there be an ETF for a meme coin? So maybe he uses Doge. Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand why people still use Doge or buy Doge. It's not a coin that really does anything. I mean, it's similar to Bitcoin in that I feel like the crypto space has moved on from just digital cash. Like there's more application and use cases for crypto than just this crypto has X price and you can use it as a currency. I feel like it's moved on from that. Like, you know, Hedera has an entire developer platform that you can actually, I mean, you could make an Unreal Engine 5 video game on the Hedera's Hero platform. And then, you know, the HBAR token is integrated with all of that. And then here we have Flare tokens being used for oracles so that we're getting, you know, accurate price reads. All of this on top of also being a token that you could transact with. So I'm looking at Dogecoin, I'm looking at Bitcoin, I'm thinking, like, this is like dated technology. So I actually don't know if it's just retailers that don't understand like where this market's really going. But to see that Doge and Bitcoin are still as popular as they are, I do think is kind of strange. Really, especially Doge. I don't see Doge really have anything going for it. At least Bitcoin has the argument that it's the original. Bitcoin's the Coca-Cola of crypto. And I think in some cases, that actually is a decent argument for why people would you know, continue buying Bitcoin. I don't know how that plays out to Doge, especially considering the fact that its market cap or its circulating supply is completely absurd. 168 billion Doge in circulation, and it's only going up. I mean, the total supply, well, I guess this site doesn't really say, but here the max supply is infinite. So, you know, the minting and the mining of Dogecoin is only going to continue rising. That makes me think like, well, why would I want to buy something that's that inflationary by design? I don't understand the mindset of people that are buying Doge, but I don't know, maybe we're the ones that are wrong. Maybe Elon sees something in it that we don't. I think he saw, I don't know, this is a risky thing for me to say, but I thought Elon saw Dogecoin as a pump and dump. I mean, look at when was Elon really pushing Doge? I mean, it had to have been 2021, right? I mean, Doge went from, oh, where it is right now, oddly enough. Or actually, no, I'm missing a zero. So it was 0.009, so basically the same price as Flare, actually. It was the same price as Flare back then, shot all the way up to 63 cents. I mean, geez, man. If you were buying Doge back then, you could probably retire forever off of these types of candles. But then, you know, it's obviously been in the gutter ever since. I'm not necessarily someone that would be buying Doge, but I guess we'll just have to see, man. This market never ceases to amaze me. You think you understand it, and then it does the complete opposite of what you expect. I'm still very, 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 very bullish on Flare. I've been thinking about doing some more Flare experiments. Now, I only experiment with Flare with new money going in. So the Flare I have on my traditional wallet is going to stay where it is. But I would like to at least give Kinetic and Scepter a try. That way, you know, why not get some more data? That means I'm going to have to buy some more Flare. So, I mean, 50,000 Flare right now isn't a whole lot, but that's still going to cost me about $500 per experiment. So I'm going to do it. I just don't know when I'm going to start it. And no, I don't want you guys gifting me 50,000 Flare just for a video. So I'll make it work on my own end. But I would like to at least give Kinetic and Scepter a try just to see what other options are out there. I've been very happy with Flare's performance. Been very, very happy with Flare's performance. I updated my spreadsheet before the stream, by the way. I did not get any Epoch or stake rewards yesterday, which makes sense. So obviously, you know, 0-0 there. Should probably get another Epoch either tomorrow or on the 7th at the latest. Or no, probably the 6th is when we'll probably get it. I've been pretty happy with this. Anchor's been doing pretty good for me the past couple of weeks. It had a rough start, but it's really come around in the second half of the month, and I have a feeling March is going to give me the data that I was really looking for. FXRP for me so far, I have not been that happy with. And I'm really excited for Firelight, and I'm really excited for Mystic. But the rewards on them just haven't been what I thought they would be. So that's my honest input there. Let's see here. Steph in the chat is saying, I saw a Stellar Stacker on X showing a Binance ATM in Singapore, and it shows a picture of it. If you had a particular dodgy Binance token, you could remove via the machine to get cash equivalent. Huh. Well, that's strange. Good morning, Gangsta. Looks like I missed you. Glad to see that you've hopped in here. So I see another interesting thing. Skid says that there's a Solana ETF. I don't know that I don't think I've ever covered the Solana ETF. Well, that would be okay. So I'm just reading this chat. The Solana ETF up 14%. What's the ticker on that? Is it SolZ? Let's try this out. Sol Z. Let's see what pops up when we hit this. Is this okay? This is the Solana ETF, and how do I adjust this chart to be more than just 24 hours? Some of these apps are better than others. Let's try the performance tab. Oh, I can't tighten it up any better than 1 month on this site. Hold on, I got a hair in my mouse wheel. I should just get a new mouse. I got some dog hair in my mouse wheel, so sometimes when I scroll down, it actually goes up instead of down. I might just have to get a new mouse. It's been an uphill battle since I you get this corgi hair all over the house, you know. I got a corgi, in case you guys didn't know. Great dog. Not his fault. Not his fault that the hair gets everywhere, but it does. Well, now isn't that interesting? 16% on SLON. Now this site kind of sucks. Let's see if there's a better. I use the ETF one because it's good for showing. It's good for showing what's it called? It's good for showing the inflows, but I wasn't able to adjust the chart very well. So this is interesting. So this Ultra Shares Solana ETF, is this a spot ETF? Because that would make a big difference. Just looking real quick to see if this is spot or not. Okay. SLON is a bullish one-day bet on Solana, seeking to provide 2x the daily returns of its underlying Solana index. Okay, so this is not spot. That would explain why it's up far more than what Solana actually is. Oh, this has fund flows? Oh, maybe I can just use TradingView instead of ETF.com. You know, some of these won't tell you what to do, but some of these things make me nervous when they, you know, trying to say they provide a 2x on the daily return. That makes me a little nervous. Makes me wonder, you know, what happens on a bad day. But just looking this thing over. Let's see what XRPZ is looking like then. This is what I hold. So in my retirement accounts, because I don't want to pay the tax penalty of moving it out of the IRA just to buy XRP, I decided to take the middle ground and get the XRP ETF. Now, this does mean that, I don't have custody. So this is not like me holding, there's no wallet here. I'm not going to be able to turn the Franklin Templeton XRP ETF into FXRP. So you can't do any of that with the ETF, but hey, it's better than not having anything at all. So something to keep in mind. I'm looking to see if there's fund inflows on this tab. There was for the other ETFs. I'm wondering why this one doesn't have it. Maybe I need to click on holdings, maybe? No. Maybe analysis? I want to see some fund flows. Yeah, there we go. So the fund flows on the Franklin Templeton have been pretty good. Getting close to 400 million here. I'm surprised it doesn't show us the total value like it does on ETF.com, but that's all right. We can see it's getting about $1 million a day. It's, some days it's lower, like 700K. Some days it's a little higher, like we got 1-2 million a day here. Earlier in the month, it was at like, we had one day earlier, February 3rd. Or no, February 26th. Oh, wait, no, February 3rd. Okay, yeah. So I was looking at the year part. This hit 12 million in one day. I'm trying to think what would have been going on back then to cause that. Steph asks how Marvin's doing. He's good. He's a funny little guy. For a 9-year-old corgi, he sure is pretty spry. I bet if I open my door, he'll eventually walk in here. I usually keep the door closed for echo purposes. I'll just leave it cracked and we'll see if he pops in. This room's gotten a lot better with the sound dampening. I wouldn't call it soundproofing, but being in a wooden house, the echo in this house is like way beyond what you would have in like a more modern house. So I had to really hang stuff up on the walls to take care of the echo, which I still think there might be a little bit, but that's all right. I tried using, to Mill's point there, I tried using an air duster on the mouse wheel, and even that, it definitely made it better, but didn't fix it. So I could probably just grab a new mouse and be fine with that. Steph says, I wonder what the price percentage increase would be on the XRP ETFs when the actual XRP increases. Well, it would be 1-to-1. If XRP, the token, does a double, as in goes from 145 to 290. Is that math right? Yeah. Then the Franklin Templeton one would shoot up to $30. And you to extrapolate that as far out as you want to. The XRP ETF is oh shoot, Mill is saying to vacuum the dog. Huh. Now that's an idea. I'll give that one a try. But anyways, the ETF is 1-to-1 XRP. So I think the Franklin Templeton one is 10 tokens per share. Now there's some interesting things with this because part of the price is banked into the management fee. So it's hard to know exactly if it's 10 tokens. I've done the math. It might actually be 11. It's hard to get a concrete answer on that. So you can see at least here that there's 230 million shares. I don't know if this site will have it, but there's 230 million shares, and somewhere I saw that it said exactly how many tokens they had. Let me see if I can find it. I don't believe it was on this site. So they've got 15 million shares have been... Oh, wait, hold on. That something here is not adding up. I'm just going to quickly jump back. So I'm just... So right here it says 230 million shares. But then over here it says shares outstanding 15 million. So that doesn't make sense. Is it 15 million or is it... Oh, maybe this is meaning $230 million. Oh, yeah, okay. Okay, this is $230 million, not share. Well, that's a weird... Why would you say shares and then put the shares in US dollars? Why wouldn't you have the shares as how many shares you have? That's a very misleading chart. Anyways, it does look like they've got 15.45 million shares. So basically, what you could do if you wanted to find out how many tokens are in each share, if you can find how many tokens Franklin Templeton has, that you just divide that by 15.45 million. Now the question is, how many do they really have? I'm having a hard time finding that information, at least on TradingView, and I'm not sure if they do have it. I'm looking up and down right now, and I'm not seeing anything that would tell me how many. Maybe the Google machine knows. How many tokens of XRP does the Franklin Templeton Fund hold? As of the end of December, they had 118. Well, that's outdated news here. Okay. Okay, here we go. So February 6th, I mean, that's still a little outdated, but this will give us an idea. So this is why I could not get a concrete answer when it came to how many are in each, because you're getting outdated data. We're going to divide this by... Oh, hold on. I have to make sure I'm doing this right. Where's the trading view again? Crap. Where did it go? My bad, you guys. I think I might have... What tab was that thing on? I have too many tabs. I'm sorry, y'all. Once there it is. All right. Let's start over here. So there's 15.45. So I need to divide this number by 1545. And I have to add... Okay, that looks right. Okay, cool. All right, so here's what I think. In a long-winded, hopefully you guys are still here and didn't get bored. Here's what I think's going on here, just from my simple analysis. So they've got 15.45 million shares, and in February, it was reported that they had 160 million XRP tokens. I'm sure that's grown a little bit since then. I mean, that's a whole month ago. So I divided that out. It came out to 10.4. So you've got to think, add some extra tokens because it's been a month. It's probably 10 tokens per share. And then you got to think there's a little bit of management fees in there. So if you had 1,000 Franklin Templeton XRP ETF shares, that's basically equivalent of having 10,000 XRP tokens minus any of the You're not getting any of the DeFi. You're not getting any yield on it. Just keep that in mind. Let's see. Oh, you guys are talking about dogs. Yeah, I'll have to try vacuuming the dog, see if that helps with the... I wonder if the vacuum might help with the hair that's in this mouse wheel. I've thought about just taking the mouse apart, but then it could be hard to put it back together. Could be one of those things. So anyways, the ETF, if you want to buy the XRP ETF, it's a pretty good deal. You just don't get the actual tokens. But the one advantage to this is if you buy it in a Roth IRA, or if you buy this in a traditional IRA, which I don't recommend doing, but you could do pretty well. You're just not going to get the DeFi. But on some level, if XRP goes to $100, does it, at that point, does it even really matter? I mean, what's a little bit of yield when, I mean, if you had 10,000 Franklin Templeton XRP shares and the XRP price goes to $100, then this would be like, you'd be sitting on like 1.5 mil probably. So it's kind of like, do you really need the DeFi at that point? But I would still like to get the DeFi. That's just kind of where I'd like to be. I'd still like to get the DeFi. But if you got a retirement account and you can't do that, then you may as well just take the next best thing, which is putting it into these ETFs and letting it ride that way. Reason I don't like traditional, by the way, when it comes to traditional IRAs, you have to pay income tax when you withdraw. And there's a good chance that income taxes will get higher as our country gets older. Now, I know some of you guys don't pay income tax, and I'm not here to make that argument, but the average person is going to pay those taxes. So the average person is probably not on the level of getting around doing the income tax. So if they're buying the ETFs, they're probably paying up. So anyways, if you're doing a traditional, then you owe the income tax and you owe the early withdrawal penalties if you decide to retire before 59. Now, for some of you guys, that might not be a factor anymore. But for a younger guy like me, I don't necessarily want to wait until I'm 60 to use the money that I've already earned. And so that's why I'm really not buying IRA funds anymore. I don't want to wait until I'm 60 to use my money. And so I've already got some IRA, but I probably at this point in my life, I'm done contributing to retirement accounts, and I will just own my assets and take care of my finances myself. You also got to wonder, why do retirement accounts even exist? Because our country has proven to us that they don't seem to care about us that much. So who's really benefiting from the retirement account? You or the companies that you're holding all your money with? And that's just something to kind of think about, is who's really benefiting from the retirement accounts. So if it's not you, it's the banks. If the banks benefit from the retirement accounts, then you gotta ask why is that? And once you start to unpack those ideas, and it's like, well, maybe don't really need to be holding my money with them. Maybe I'll just take care of my own finances, get a cold wallet, get some physical silver and gold, and kind of be my own man, kind of thing. Just things to think about. Gonna jump over to Mystic here. Believe it or not, the APY has actually gone even further down from yesterday. Yesterday it was 1.24. Now it's down to 1.21. I don't really know what's going on here, but I will continue collecting data on this. We'll see what happens with Firelight when Firelight goes live again on the 18th. I'm going to need to see a little bit more output out of this if I'm going to endorse it. Looking at the Firelight vaults, they're still locked up at 25,000 FXRP. Of billion or 120 billion Firelight points have been generated. It's making me wonder, what are these points going to be rewarded into? We haven't had any official words on this yet. I'm gonna be patient. I'm gonna wait until March 18th, but if I don't know about you guys, I've been in this thing since December 3rd, and I'm kind of I've given it 4 months of my own asset, so I'd like to see something out of that. It's been 4 months. It's one thing to be optimistic about something, but I don't want to just like blindly cheerlead something if I'm not actually getting anything out of it. So they said March 18th. I'll wait till the 18th to see what's in store for us, but I am starting to say, hey, what's going on here? Why haven't we heard anything since this thing released all the way back on December 3rd? Just my personal feelings on that. Now, Over and Out says the wrap flare on Mystic has been pretty lucrative. So I'm looking at it, and it actually is. I mean, you can get 15% on your wrap flare on Mystic. So again, flare itself has been very lucrative. You might even make the argument that this could outperform staking. So I think that's pretty cool. This could be something to play around with as well. It's more the FXRP stuff that I'm not. The output hasn't been what I want it to be, but we'll see how things play out. It's still brand new. For what it's worth, Flare's been out for a couple of years now, and FXRP it's still playing catch up. Cool stuff though for FXRP. The minting has actually been pretty good. Up to 120 million FXRP has been minted, and the cap has been raised to 170 million. So a lot of FXRP has been minted. I have to imagine if this is going to end up working out, there's going to have to be stuff for us to contribute this to that has good yield, or else the whole thing wouldn't really have a point. So I'm still optimistic. I want this thing to succeed. I just also want to be realistic, and a part of being realistic is saying, hey, the numbers haven't really been blowing me away. And we'll see how it all plays out. Let's see, what else do I got for you? Hashpack has been pretty consistent. I'm just getting daily rewards now out of Hashpack, so there's really no, at least with the Hashpack, I've been on this app long enough, and I've claimed a few of these rewards by now. I don't really think there's too much opportunity cost in not doing this. So if you do have HBAR, at least at this point in time. Now, by the way, this is my YouTube wallet, not my real wallet, so there's not much to look at here. But if I go through my phone, which has my real HBAR wallet on it, Hashpack has delivered for me pretty well so far. I've been able to claim my rewards. I see them in my account. Once you have it up and running, very easy to use. You just go in there, you collect your rewards. I've been getting rewards daily. Every 24 hours, I'm getting a single HBAR token. It's up to you if that's good or not. But at least once you are set up on Hashpack, it's very painless. It's actually very easy to use. And so I'm having a good time with it. I just wish, again, I wish these things were maybe just a little bit more lucrative as far as rewards go, but I suppose it is better than nothing. For me, the end goal with crypto is the yield. To me, that is really the sticking point, because if these tokens go to the prices that we think that they will, Getting yield on them means that you'll be able to ride on some of that income as we get there. So like it's going to take time to get from point A to point Z. You know, we're going to have to hit B, C, D, E, F, G all the way across the board. And if you're getting yield on that, it allows you to, you know, in some cases take your foot off the gas, or, you know, claim some of your rewards without necessarily lowering your positions, which for me, that's the big sticking point, because the truth of the matter is, you know, if you only had 10,000 XRP and it goes to $100, anytime you take profits, you're going to be like, well, now I have less and less XRP, and it's going to either have to go to $200 or I'm eventually going to run out of this, right? That's kind of how the economics of it works. So you always want to be replenishing your stash. It's kind of like water. Like, you want the lake to replenish with rainwater more than you consume from the lake. And that's, for me, what DeFi does. So, you know, I'm still optimistic. I'm just saying that I wish some of these yields were maybe a little higher. But I'll take what we can get, at least for now. Clarity Act does seem like it's moving in the right direction. You know, take it for a grain of salt. Polymarket is just a gambling app. But the gamblers seem to think 72% chance of Clarity Act getting passed this year. Now, if it gets passed, it's going to have to happen sooner than later. And so it's looking like if it's going to happen, it's probably going to happen within the next month or two. So we'll keep an eye on this, but there's not been a whole lot of news lately. Now, there's been a lot of opinions. There's been a lot of opinions, but there's not a lot of actionable news. I think we're probably just going to have to wait until the next time the Senate gets together on this. And until then, we're probably not going to have too much new information. I'm going to jump over the rich lists now. Just want to see how things... Let's take a quick snip of this, because I'm about to hit the refresh button. And we'll be able to see what does it look like after I refresh. I bet there's going to be at least some changes here. So let's just shrink it up. Ooh, that's not quite what I wanted it to do. This kind of works. So, not sure how well you guys can see. We took that snip and we refreshed it. So this on the left was before the refresh. I'm going to try to make this bigger without... I wish there was a better way. You know, it's Microsoft Paint, so it's not like Discord, or it's not like OBS where I can just trim this whole part of the screen off. But in any case, it looks like in the top 1%, there were 76,598 wallets, and that was before I hit refresh. It looks like to be in the top 1%, those numbers have fallen off a little bit. Now there are less accounts in the top 1%. This tells me that new wallets are being opened. And the balance has gone from 46,268 down to 46,100. So I think this is going to keep going down and down as more wallets get created. As long as you don't sell your XRP. I know some people don't care about this stuff. I think it's fun. Over time, the longer you hold your XRP, the more likely it is that you'll eventually be in that top 1%. Some of you might already be there. I'm sure most people are still working on it. So some of these lower figures starting to really get easy to get into. To be in the top 4%, all you need are 10,000 XRP tokens. I don't think 10,000 is that hard to get to. Unless you're in a real bad spot and you just can't be buying XRP right now. If you're employed or if you've got some steady income coming in, I think that you can get to 10,000 still. Assuming the reverse carry trade doesn't hit tomorrow, I think that's feasible. Now let me see if I can get this thing... over here. I want to compare these two charts now. Hopefully this isn't too small for you guys. Maybe if I switch the layout, maybe make it a little bit bigger. I think that looks better. Yeah, I think that looks good. So there are still 6 accounts that have 1 billion or more. Still 19 that have 500 million or more. It looks like there's one less account that has 500 million or less. That's kind of interesting. But then there's 2 new accounts that have 20 million or more. So there's movement going on here at the very, very, very top. I don't expect retail holders to get into this 100 million XRP range. I mean, you got to think there's probably not that many 10 millionaire people out there in general. And if there were, a lot of them probably aren't willing to put their entire net worth into XRP. It's easier when you don't have anything to lose to dive headfirst into crypto. And when you have that kind of money, the game changes to protection, not growth. So I have to imagine most of these very large wallets are are institutional wallets. And I'd say retail probably starts to come to an end around this 500,000 to 1 million range. I know some very early buyers out there definitely have 500,000 XRP. Still putting them in the top 2,000 range, but even 500,000 XRP is nothing compared to some of the whales here at the top with 100 million or more. So I just think it's as good information because we're not going to get new XRP, right? So it's capped at 100 billion. Plus, you got to think all the times that people have lost their XRP. You got to imagine there's probably people out there that have, not to be morbid or anything, but there's probably people out there that own crypto that have died and no one's recovered their wallets, or in some cases had no idea that they even own crypto. And so those wallets are basically just derelict tokens that are never going to be seen again. You don't really hear people talking about that too much. I definitely think it's a factor. How much of those have really been lost? I guess none of us really know, but more than 0. So this is cool stuff. I just like to look at these and kind of keep an eye on it. It just sort of tells me where we're headed. Because the more wallets that get created, those that have been long-time holders will actually get pushed up to the top, especially if this thing really does go mainstream. I mean, you got to think right now, the only people buying crypto are the people that actually believe in it. You tell average people, yeah, the XRP's down 70%. They're all like, ooh, glad I didn't buy any of those things. And then obviously those of us that have been here for a while, we all know that, obviously XRP is going to be the future. It's just a matter of when they switch that power on. So we're all just sitting here waiting for that to happen. Let's see what the Flare list looks like. By the way, Flare is back to normal. We were looking at stream the other day where it showed 120 billion. Not sure what was going on there, but this thing's accurate again. So 64 billion Flare are held by less than 90 wallets. Quite interesting, by the way, that the Flare rich list, there's just less wallets in general. So there's only about 1 million Flare wallets as opposed to XRP's got around 7.5 million. If you've got 1 million Flare tokens or more, you're already in the top 5,000. Again, this isn't a competition. It's not like the Olympics. So you're not competing for a gold medal here. But as Flare starts to become more and more mainstream, just like XRP, what does this look like when Flare then has, for example, 5 or 6 million wallets? You're just going to keep getting pushed to the top. Now, these people that are above you probably not going anywhere, but top 5,000 in a realm with 1 million wallets, Sounds a lot different than top 5,000 in a realm with 5 million wallets. And so I think the price of Flare, it's gonna probably track XRP's very, very closely. Maybe not exactly 1-to-1, but I do believe that the exchange rate is roughly 150 right now. I mean, it's not a solid number. It changes, right? So it's not like every single day Flare exactly tracks XRP, but in general, I do believe that it'll probably stay close to that $150, or not $150, 150 Flare exchange rate for 1 XRP. And for what it's worth, Flare's starting to move. Interesting that, you know, Bitcoin started to move first. It's been going up since I've been streaming. I think when we first started, it was at 70. Let's see, it was at 72, I believe. So we started at 11 a.m. So at it's somewhere around this range. It was at it's actually kind of about the same. It had a little bit of a dip here, but now it's moving back up. I bet by tomorrow it'll be back down here, right? Because that's just how it is. No, we'll just have to see. This has been such a chaotic market that you have no idea if things are ever gonna like continue moving forward, right? If Bitcoin were to have 5 good days in a row, like 5 days in a row without sliding, I would say maybe that's the turn that we've all been waiting for. You can see that Bitcoin has not had a 5-day in a row period, basically since September of last year. I mean, maybe this might be a 5-day period, but let's see. Bottom of that says October 22, October 26. So that's only 4 days. There has not been 5 good days in a row for Bitcoin since fall of last year. So let's just see what happens. You know, we're leading into this day with an 8% run. If Bitcoin's up to like 76, 77,000 by the end of the week, maybe we can say that, hey, the bottom is in and we're finally going to start climbing out of the Marianas Trench of crypto and start getting things back on track. Now, the runway for recovery here is still quite long. Bitcoin's got to go all the way back up to 126,000 for us to be made whole again. And I just realized that half the screen is cut off and you it right here. Bitcoin's at 73,000. If this thing gets to like 76, 77 by about another 3-4 days from now, maybe we could start to say that the recovery has started. With the wishy-washiness, it just seems like, you know, how many times have I streamed and I'm like, oh, things are finally up, and then we come back tomorrow and they're actually lower than the previous day's stream. So let's just see what's going to happen with this. If this thing moves up to like 77-ish, maybe we're in the recovery zone. Now, Iman says, be mindful there still may be another leg down. We seem to be closer to the bottom than the middle to the top for sure. Yeah, I think we're... I'll be honest, I was expecting the market to crash a lot more from the Iran issue. We don't have to get too far down that. I feel like it's maybe too much of a hot issue. But to the same extent, I'd also have to talk about it because it's happening. I was expecting the Iran war issue to have more of an effect on the stock market and on the crypto market. It doesn't seem like it has. Now oil is up, but even oil seems to, I mean, everything's relative, but does seem to have stabilized at least a little bit. So we're just gonna have to see how this thing all plays out. In general, I don't like the whole war thing, but it doesn't seem like the economy has been as affected as we thought it would be. We're about 3 days into this thing now, so you would think if it was going to be catastrophic, we'd already see some of the proof of that. I mean, maybe you could say we've seen a little bit of it because they had this giant spike up here over on Sunday. But I was actually expecting this to really be like a, I don't know if you can see my mouse very well, but I was expecting this to go up. Like where my little mousy guy is right here, I was expecting it to go up. And instead it's kind of leveled out. So we'll just have to wait and see. Maybe things are not as bad as I was expecting. Iman says, I think we're on the 4th wave of a 5-wave down. Bitcoin mid 50K, give or take. That's an interesting, we'll have to see. I'll be honest, I literally have no idea. It's getting to the point where I just look at the markets and I'm like, oh, well, this is what they are today. Because it doesn't seem like anything right now makes any sense. And we're finding stuff out about the trading bots with Bitcoin, with the Jane Street and all that. It's like, well, if the game's rigged, I just have no idea. I can't give an accurate prediction when there's trading bots that could at any minute change the direction that the market's going in. And I wish other content creators would just say that. It seems like in this space that everybody's got price predictions, and then when they don't work out, they just completely ignore that they ever said it. It's like, no, at least say like, hey, I had this prediction. The reason it didn't play out is because there's market manipulation. There's nothing that I can personally do about that. If these trading bots are intentionally holding Bitcoin back, and then that affects the rest of the altcoin market, I don't know. Sorry, I didn't bake that into my analysis. You know what I'm saying? So we'll just have to kind of see how this plays out. Still think the domino theory could be in effect. He who should not be named has been on a lot of podcasts in the past week. I haven't been watching his videos since New Year's. I just kind of can't get into him at this point, but I think some of you guys know who I'm talking about. And I got an eye crusty here. But if that dude would have just stayed away from the price predictions and just said, here's what the domino theory is, here's how things could play out, I think that he would still be a credible person. It's just once you start saying this date and time and it's going to be this price, once you start making those claims and it doesn't pan out, it's like, well, what are you doing? Oh, I don't know. That's just how I feel about that. I'm going to jump to Twitter for a few minutes and probably start doing the wrap up. Yeah, you know me, Iman. And then, of course, I think most of you guys here are already regulars, but just in case you're not a regular, I'm going to throw the Discord info, which, by the way, I got to let some people in. I was pretty busy yesterday. I had to take care of some personal stuff that was not crypto related, so I had to kind of do some other stuff yesterday. Now I'll try to be a little bit more active in the Discord today. But if you want the link for the Discord, let me just do this real quick. Just hit the copy button. By the way, Siempre, if you're watching this, for some reason, I know you're in the Discord, but every time I hit approve, it says something went wrong, and I'm afraid to hit the reject button because I don't want to kick you out of the Discord. So I guess you're just forever in my pending queue. Not that it shouldn't make a difference for your end, but I see your cute dog there every time I go to let people in. So I'm going to pin the Discord link in the live chat here. I think we got about 75 people now, and we got a pretty active community. Pretty cool how things have really built out there. And it's a good spot for you guys to really know my true opinions on stuff. Some things I can't really talk about on stream for obvious reasons, but I don't really hold back on the Discord because I figure, hey, if you put in the effort to not only watch the channel but join the Discord, you're probably not going to get too offended if I have an opinion that you don't agree with. It's a good spot for us to kind of, flesh those things out. But I still want to have civil conversations, so please don't get in the theistic fights in the Discord. Anyways, Steph says, I saw Patrick Witt saying the crypto side have stood down the yield on stable coins to appease the banks, but now it was time for the banks to reciprocate. But think the banks stand down on, well, the banks won't stand down on anything. We all know why that won't be. Ooh, here we go. We got Mike Stone, first time live, 4 a.m. in OZ. Would that be... So when I think of Oz, I think of Kansas, but maybe that's New Zealand? I'm trying to think of where 4 a.m. would be. Well, that's pretty cool, man. I appreciate you hopping in. Join the Discord if you haven't. It's a good way to communicate with us. I'm just going to go through a couple of Twitter posts. Let's just see what's going on out there. And then I'll probably wrap up the stream a little bit early. Oh, cool. Is I kind of had a feeling it'd be in that region. Is it New Zealand or Australia? I'm curious. What does maybe I just don't know the Wizard of Oz as well as I thought I did. How is Australia Oz or OZ? I'm curious. Maybe I could use a history lesson here. It seems like some of you guys already knew that answer, whereas I was like, kind of to pull at it a little bit. So curious to hear what you guys say about that. There is something going on with H-bar here. Is there really 100,000 people watching?
Have a good one.
I guess we could hop into this. I don't know what this is. We can just start it. There's 100,000 people in this. That's actually a pretty crazy amount of people. Let's just see what they're saying. If it doesn't really pertain to us, then I'll jump out of it.
Everyone, goodbye.
Bye. Thank you, Shirley.
Oh, okay. See ya. I really enjoyed your conference. That was... Wow, guys, that was a really good conference. I'm really glad we joined that one. Learned a whole lot. Okay. That's too funny. Okay. I mean, I guess we could watch the playback of it, but that's too funny. Okay, let's see what's going on in the Twitter space. Okay. When you say OZ, it sounds like Aussie. Okay, it sounds like Aussie. I get it. That's cool. Hey, I'm just a blue collar guy from Detroit. All right, so I'm a little slow. Well, dang, this was the post I was originally looking for. Now there's just over and over. Oh boy, here comes the clickbait. Breaking, X money is dropping any day now, and you'll never guess what crypto they're secretly using as the thing. Well, thanks for the post, guy. I was waiting for the part where you tell me what it is. Right? I'm never going to guess what crypto they're secretly using. Well, okay, then why don't you tell us? Isn't that the point of your post? Of course they're not going to tell us. Man, you know, Twitter can really kind of grind my gears in a bad way sometimes. It's like, why is all this information so hard to actually get? It's like, why don't you just say the answer instead of doing these cryptic posts that don't have any substance to them? That's a Twitter problem, though. This thing's all over the place. The X Money app beta has launched, representing a major step towards the cross river. I do see there's a Ripple thing down here. It became the second bank to integrate the Ripple protocol for real-time payments. Will X Money have a Ripple integration? See, that's what I was looking for. So this guy is better than the other one. The beta announced rollout includes 6% yield. Well, don't tell Elon about the Clarity Act because that's probably not going to happen. An all black X card, minimalist payment, physical and virtual card. Okay, that's cool. So it's just a Twitter credit card. I'm looking for the Ripple stuff. Okay, FDIC insured. That's cool. That's cool. So none of this, that's just speculation. None of it's actually saying that it is Ripple. So we'll just have to see. But it would be cool if it was. Hey, Elon renamed Twitter X for a reason, right? So that he could use XRP. I don't know. It's a little tinfoil hat. Tinfoil. What did I just say? Tin oil? It's a little bit too much tin oil hat. Tin foil. I got oil on my mind, you can tell. What's going on? Ooh, there's a structural flaw in Bitcoin. I haven't heard this yet, so let's just see what he's got to say. Let's see if we agree.
I think the reality is that Bitcoin, for the most part at this point, is there's a structural failing in Bitcoin that I think people will need to come and wrap their heads around. The structural failing is that it is not. So if you think about like what is the value maximizing function right now for a crypto asset to be broadly adopted, it needs to have the features that allow a central bank to adopt it. And there are two things that it lacks. One is fungibility and two is privacy. And so Bitcoin fails on those two dimensions. So it can never be a structural holding of a central bank. Mm-hmm. And that simple thing will keep it in the realm of ETFs and humans. And
does gold satisfy those conditions?
Yeah.
Fungibility, but not easily.
Both. You have no idea how much the Bank of China owns. You don't know how many ounces they own. You don't know how many ounces I own. When there's a public ledger that says this address has this much, and you can't really trade it because you know the history and the provenance of that exact token. It's been used to buy this. It was transacted over here. It went to this wallet. That lack of fungibility and privacy is a huge deterrent for broad structural adoption. That's what you need to then add another 10x of market cap. Mm-hmm. So is there room for a different crypto asset that solves for the privacy and fungibility? Yeah. And are there projects right now? Yes, but they're very small scale. There's huge issues with them. Those are even more volatile. So Bitcoin's interesting.
So if I'm understanding him correctly, the banks don't want to use the Bitcoin because the transaction history will show that they were going to that island, baby. That's what they do. What's this say? I'm sure this is all fake news. Embarrassing situation for India. What did they poop in the Gerald Ford? The Iranian ship was invited to participate in the. Oh, okay. Well, that sounds like a real poopy situation. This is the kind of stuff I try to avoid because, for one, I don't even know if this is real footage or not, but you see too much of it, it could send you into a dark headspace where you start, thinking stuff you wouldn't normally think. That's what Twitter does to you. By the way, this dude's nose is out of control, man. He kind of looks like that can't be a real nose. Now I'm not trying to offend anyone who has that nose kind of reminds me of like I'm trying to think of there's some cartoon character, but I can't think of who it is. Let's see what he has to say. He's the Prince of Iran. Oh,
forced during the Iraqi attack on Iran and the breaking of the Iran-Iraq war, when the revolutionary government of Khomeini was already in place. My patriotic duty was asking me to, as a pilot, to go and fight alongside my military brethren in that war. I was prepared to die then. I'm prepared to die now. There's no greater cause for that, the liberty. And what is my life when I'm thinking of millions of young Iranians who today call my force during the Iraqi attack on Iran and the...
Man, I would not want to smell bad around this guy. This clip was a little bit too short to get anything out of. Let's see. Oh, there's going to be a Bitcoin conference, by the way. Everyone's favorite Jake Claver is going to be a speaker there. I feel like that's kind of strange. Kind of strange that he would be doing that. Ooh, this is cool. What in the world am I looking at? No way. I'm sorry, that is amazing. I'm not even sure. How is that not, like, that's got to be really heavy. How is he just standing upright like that? How's that dude not, like, that the weight distribution should be like pulling him forward? That's cool. No, it looks sweet though. I would like to have that for my home defense system. Does anyone know if this is a real video? I don't know. This stuff's getting too crazy for me, you guys. All I want to do is snowboard. I don't care about any of this stuff. I just want to go snowboarding and be rich. Is that too much to ask? I don't want to have to think about whether my future kids are going to end up getting killed in a war or stabbed at the subway train just because they were, you know, wait. I just want to snowboard and just enjoy life. Is that too much to ask for? Yeah, so everything here on Twitter is basically just war stuff. War. By the way, most of the crypto accounts I follow are kind of weighing in on it too, right? So like, so Ayman once gave me the tip. He's like, hey, just go to switch from For You to switch to following. Well, half the guys that were making crypto content are also now making Iran content. So it's kind of like there's no way around it. Like you can't talk about one thing without being able to talk about the other. Even Paul Barron is talking about the Iran situation. Hugo Fillion had a tweet about the Iran situation. So it's like no matter what, like this is where we're at. So I think the whole thing is pretty terrible. Ooh, earn XRP without leaving Zaman. Oh, this happened today. Well, this is cool. If you guys want, check this out. I'm not gonna make you listen to it on live stream, but I don't have Zaman, and I'm already doing all this stuff anyways. So it's kind of like I don't know that I necessarily need it, but if you have Zaman, this could be a good opportunity to, you know, get some FXRP. What I'd like to see, are they able to make FXRP work for them in ways that I can't on my own system? Maybe that would be a reason to look into getting it. But if the FXRP is going to the same spots, like if it's going to Firelight or if it's going to Mystic, I'd probably just keep doing it on my own. How long after staking your XRP on Zaman does one generate yield? Is it daily? Yield generation begins once the deposit is processed and allocated to the vault. So I'm assuming it's probably the same way that it is on Morpho. I don't know if any of you guys know, let me know, because I don't have Zaman, so I'm not using it. But if there's opportunities to get yield on there that are not currently available through the way that we do it, I'd be interested in hearing more. Yeah, Steph says the world leaders should just play a game of rock, paper, scissors to decide things. So I wish it was that simple. Give you a hint. They're all on the same team. They're all on the same team, man. This is all just a game for them. It really makes me I really hate it. Well, you guys, at this point, I'm basically just scrolling through Twitter, so I'll probably start wrapping this one up a little bit before 1. I don't know if we really need to go to 1. It was nice. It was ambitious to try to run a 2-hour-long show, but there's just sometimes not 2 hours worth of stuff to talk about. So I'll probably start wrapping this up now. And that'll give me more opportunities to dig into some more research for the channel. And then we'll be back at it tomorrow morning at our normal hour. So gonna keep working on this spreadsheet. I think I'm gonna at some point buy some more Flare to do some more staking. I want to do it with 50,000 since that's what I'm doing with the rest of these. I'd like to get into Scepter and Kinetic, but I'd have to get 100,000 more Flare for that. That's like $1,000. So I want to make that happen, but certain things got to happen first. So hopefully those things will all work out, and I can give you guys more updates on that soon. For now, I'm gonna go get some lunch, and it's starting to warm up. Honestly, I might go for a walk outside. Here in the north, we're finally getting out of the below freezing temperatures, so I kind of want to get some of that sunshine. Gonna be 70 degrees on Saturday, so Ivan says I should get 50K of XRP. I should probably not say anything. I've played around with the idea of converting my entire retirement portfolio into XRP. I haven't done it, but I've certainly thought about it. That would be not financial advice if I do it. Alan pops in. Alan, we are literally just wrapping up. I'll give you the short answer. Markets are up, but we don't exactly know why. It's just that this is crypto. Welcome to crypto. Things don't always seem to make sense. But yeah, things are in general moving upward. Now it does look like, as I live and breathe here, it does look like Bitcoin's moving back down. So let's just keep watching this. Unless we get 5 days in a row of growth, to me the bottom's not in, and we're still in this weird limbo where there's just so much whiplash in the market. Until we get 5 days of consistency, I'm not calling any recovery zones until then. So let's just keep seeing how things play out. In the meantime, I'm gonna go get some lunch and kind of wrap things up. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Ivan says all I want to do is snowboard. That's right. I just want to do leisurely activities and be around people that also have similar thought processes that I do. Anyways, you guys are going to get me in trouble. I don't know what YouTube will or will not allow me to say, but if you're in the Discord, I'm not quite shy. So I'll be on Discord here in a minute while I go out and do some chores. So I'll see you guys later, and we'll be back at it tomorrow. Take care.